Okay, so the next step in this consumer behavior trends is to look at personal searches that fall into the three main categories like solving a problem, getting things done, exploring around me. Every time I go somewhere and I just moved to a new city, I'm always like, okay, like what's near me? Where's my dog going to go to the vet? Um, Restaurants near me. So those are the things that people are talking about in the textbook. When trying to source a solution, many searches are still finding like the best option, brands like, as well as I, me, to avoid, worth it, or should I. How does online search trends help develop online research and search marketing strategies? Well, for the organization, what people are searching for, how many people are searching for it, and in what format do they want that information? SEO process step 3, on site coding and implementation. Once you've developed your keyword strategy through research, it's really time to actually look at the technical implementation of how your research is enhanced in the search marketing strategy. So, this is kind of the aspect when SEO is sold as the complicated part, but if you break it down, it's not that bad. So, optimizing your pages, you first have to optimize your page. You will need an SEO tool installed in your on your website to kind of guide you to do this. The author says to use a tool called Yoast. So if you have websites that are created through WordPress or Wix, and I know several people um, in my age group and younger really love WordPress, you can use Yoast and it will actually tell you what needs to be fixed on your webpage. It's really cool. So once this tool is installed, you are actually able to add keywords and search terms into the page. So it will look for that to rank it. And then Google will know to index and rank your page higher because Yoast has helped you optimize your website and content more specific to what you're actually discussing on that exact web page. The traffic light system in Yoast means that as you are going through the write and writing your content, Yoast will actually change your SEO score. So if you are in red, it will get to moving to yellow and then green. And then once it's green, it's actually good to publish and update. It'll also walk you through steps of optimizing your structure, like a title tag, meta tag, the content on your page, a URL, and the image alt text. Again, if you have been listening to Hannah's digital marketing corner, you already know all of those terminology words. Okay, step 3, still on the on site coding and implementation. I thought this picture was so good for representing what this is talking about. Okay, so there are two types of SEO. The first one is on page SEO, and it's normally called on site SEO. If you end up going into the master's program, you'll hear it more called on site than on page. But this refers to the actual building of your site and to making sure that it's search engine friendly. It involves optimizing your web pages, titles, descriptions, image tags, content, keywords, internal linking. Basically, anything on your website is called on page or on site SEO. Now, then there's a second one, which explains that massive, almost called it Titanic, the massive iceberg. I just watched that movie too. That's so fun. So, offsite SEO is also called off-site SEO. This refers to two actions taking actions outside of your web page that impacts your score when people are searching and building alternatives. And we'll actually cover this later in your textbook. But it's like the links that link back to you. There's actually also, if you want to go further into SEO, there are two types of techniques. There's one called, they call it the white hat, and white hatting is, it's like the best practices. You performed everything perfect for your search engine optimization, and Google gives you an A plus and you rank really high. Then there's like this gray hat area where it's like, you kind of tried to trick Google, but they're not going to penalize you too much, but they're going to be watching you. And then there's a black hatting, and that's when you go through, and this is where the offsite SEO comes in. You go through and make all of these fake websites to give your website more like credit. And you can do that through like automated systems. They actually sell that. And this used to work until Google got really smart and caught on to what people were doing because it was making them rank higher and it was causing a lot of problems. And then they got penalized, and actually their website was taken off Google Index for a minute. So, step 4, copyright and implementation. So, content needs to be created for the consumer, not for a search engine. It'll rank higher if you actually create your content for the people that you are trying to sell to. SEO is when you research keywords to particular keywords and then use that to write the content. Writing for the web is slightly different than writing for offline consumption, and that is because of many different reasons. Keywords will be initially focusing on what the purpose of the blog is or the piece of the content you're writing to or for. So, write an overview of the piece that really tells your reader what they're getting and what they are going to be looking at on this webpage, and then think about this as standing in front of a room and presenting your work and selling it to the audience. Questions to consider when planning your content for you and for your audience. You need to know who this is for, what the purpose of the article is, why you're writing the article, what is it about, what is the main message, why would they read it, how is this going to help them, when should they take action, and what are they actually going to be achieving, or what are you wanting to achieve. So once digital marketers can answer those questions, then they can actually start writing their quality content structure. They're going to be able to research quality references and sources, and then little tips on writing online content. So there's always like the temptation that we use words that we kind of don't normally use in formal articles, but you need to write in plain English. You need to talk to your people how they would talk. You don't want to use like super difficult words and make it really hard to comprehend, because then you're not going to get anybody on your website. Also consider accessibility to the reader, and if there's no need for complicated terminology or acronyms, go ahead and avoid it. Take any quotes and key points and turn them into images and graphics so it'll stand out more, and they'll also be easy for the reader or the user to remember. You always need to make it easy to read, so make sure your style looks really good. And keep sentences and paragraphs short, and also use subheadings every 100 words. That's a really key. Okay, a little bit more. So, tips on writing this. The author says that she would also encourage wiggling left margin rule, which basically means to use indents and bullets to keep intriguing and breaking large amounts of information and text into chunks. And it'll help like your article look more aesthetically pleasing. And if you're using sources and references to substitute and support your article, then link to the external sites. But also ensure that you are using trusted and quality websites, because if it's not trusted and quality, you're going to rank lower on your SEO score. So the SEO process, again, for the copyright and implementation for step 4, the author says to use in the inverted pyramid as a writing style for the content. So basically the broad view, need to know, and then narrow it down to the nice to know information. Also have a call to action. So every article or blog has to have a purpose, and if you have captured the interest of your reader, it's time to take action with them. So do not leave it to the end of the article, because normally 80% of people only read the headline and 20% actually read the article. So don't put your call to action saying buy this now at the very end. If a reader has been captivated by the specific points, then it's wise to put the call to action at the top, put another one at the middle, and then another one at the bottom, and then put some links and buttons throughout every part of your webpage. Okay, some common call to actions would be to facilitate comments or discussions, maybe have a debate, share content or connect on social media, subscribe to a blog or a mailing list, offer a free trial, a demo, or product tour, download free content or register for free sources like a webinar, an event. Webinars are super big right now. Interactive content like completing a quiz or a poll. People love doing the polls and quizzes. And then inclusions and offers. So like buy now, sign up today. What is the purpose of this article or blog? Also, remember that call to action should be predominant, valuable, and it needs to focus on getting results to get your people. Okay, so step 5 is the speed and the site performance. Speed of the website is another factor for ranking on SEOs. If you want to end up on the 1 second, if you want to end up on the first page, if you have a 1 second delay, even on a mobile website, it actually impacts your conversion by 20%, and more than half of the visits are abandoned if your website takes longer than 3 seconds. Okay. Images also need to be considered because they will actually slow your website down. So avoid landing pages redirects, enable compressions, improve server response times, leverage browser caching, minify resources, and this is actually removing any unnecessary characters from the source codes of a page, optimize images, optimize CSS delivery, which is like the cascading style sheets in your HTML, prioritize visible content, and then remove render blocking JavaScript. And that sounds really hard to do, which is why you probably have a web developer or an IT team who knows exactly what this is talking about. Google Search Console is also another good place to go to again. It's going to check your mobile responsiveness, how your website's performing. It's going to know what plugins you need to be looking at, especially with your mobile apps. Okay, step 6, continuous A/B testing. A/B testing is so vital. This is a method of comparing two versions of a web page or an app against each other to determine which one performs better. Marketers will have to pick a variable to test, and there are 7 items marketers can test on a website. So it could be a heading, a subheading, it could be a call to action, a button, images, a text on a page, forms, and pricing. Optimizely is the best resource out there to do A/B testing, and a lot of times it's free. So go ahead and check that website out on your own time. But basically, one little tip: you never want to do a whole A/B testing on your whole website. You want to do like little buttons here and there, so you know exactly what people are like drawn to, and then like keep changing it up, but don't do it all at once. And finally, step 7, marketing and link building. So the term back or link building refers to when websites have a link back to your website. Google uses these as a like quality sign for your search engine results page. And typical link back examples would be like local listing and directories, industry specific directories, existing relationships, guest posting, news and press releases, donations and sponsorships, network building or new relationships, and rich content. The last part of the audit will also be to look at your rank, traffic, and resources. Well known and common tools are Google Analytics. And if you were in my web and social media analytics course, you know all about Google Analytics. But they will display a vast amount of data using dashboards to break down elements of the website and consumer behaviors. You can also monitor your performance of a mobile speed sites, site speed, site search, search terms and organic terms, traffic through organic searches, and bounce rates. Okay, so that was all just step 2 in the rapid search. Rapid search step 3 is paid. This is talking about pay-per-clicks or PPC, which is through Google Ads. And this can set up to be driving the instant results. They aim for advertisings to be at the top of the placements on a Google search results page. And you pay, it's like an auction, you pay, and if you're the top bidder, you get that spot. Google offers search ads that will appear in the search results, such as video ads, which will appear on YouTube, display ads, which appear on the Google Display Network, and that is third-party owned websites that have partnered with Google to agree for these ads to appear. You can also, if you sell merchandise, you do a shopping ad, which is used on Google search and shopping results. You also need a note about cost per click, which goes with PPC. And cost per click basically is how much a click is worth. And Google Ads will actually tell you that. So how is PPC figured out? Well, it's figured out through bids, and it's combined with a quality score. Google's ratings of a quality and relevance are both from the ads and keywords in the overall ad. You can use Google Ads to get more calls to your business, increase visits to your store, drive people to your website. And then you also need to know these terminologies. So, broad match is when a search query contains the words in the select keyword and they do not show in the ad. Phrase match is any queries containing to a phrase in that order that will not show in the ad. And the exact match, only the exact query for those words, or it will not show in the ad. Return on investment is something really big that we need to discuss. This is in order to set up an ad, a marketer needs to work out how much they're willing to pay based on the return on investment. So, the calculation to do this, you need to calculate your max CPC, which is your cost per click. So, you have to take your profit per customer and times that by 1 minus your profit margin times the website conversion rate. So, an example, the average profit customer is $500. And out of 100 website visitors, you only get 10 visitors to convert to customers. So 1% of your website conversion rate. And then a 30% profit margin. So your max cost per click would be 500 times 1 minus 0.3 times 1%, which is $3.5. That would be your return on or your max cost per click, which would help you figure out your return on investment. Okay, step 4 is to invite. Invite is like all about the My Google Business, and basically it's just talking about like how a marketer could use push notifications, not just for an app, but for your website. So if a consumer subscribes to your website in your browser, and usually that's Google Chrome, it will actually send you notifications of when that website updates and puts out new content. So also you need to be Googling like how your website looks, how you are appearing. So Google uses sitemaps to display quick links and information that they will appear useful to the users. And they tend to get like more front loaded to make the sites more accessible and navigational without actually visiting the website. So if you were to type in Twitter, since it's just so big and amazing, Twitter will actually do Twitter login, Twitter followers, sign up for Twitter, my Twitter, Lady Gaga, WordPress. Those are all already linked to make your search easier, and they're called site links. So to attract your audience and gain more opportunities. So after searching for your brand and business, you really need to start delving deeper into the keywords that were relevant for your business. So moving into types of searches that are more frequently asked questions that relate to your business and products, or services that compare against your competitors. Searches to your brand and products and services relate to about 25% of global searches and the content your consumer will want to visit and see on your web pages. The other 75%, again, is just looking for answers, solutions, and advice. So, in different words, state what their goals and motivations are so your search results will appear. The last step is dominate. The author says that to be at the top of search engine results pages, you just have to have hard work. So use this system to get you started, which is proven to work for businesses. You need to do stacking and linking. This is a process often used to dominate search engine results to related articles. If you think about your main keyword categories or topics, for instance, like social media, there will be a keyword phrase within that you need to be ranking for. The keyword is to create a series of related articles based on the most popular keywords, phrases for that business. And then listen and research what consumers are actually searching for to create articles surrounding the words. So basically, we went over everything you need to know about SEO. And then we also went over everything you needed to know about the rapid traffic generator. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. And I look forward to talking with you all soon.